Claws of Night is one of the best weapons in the Elden Ring DLC right now. Even the most difficult bosses like Renala and Mesmer can die within a matter of seconds. This damage is achieved by taking advantage of the quick light attacks this weapon has, along with its innate magic damage scaling and unique Ash of War. Shredding down bosses as quickly as I did using these claws truly felt like I was Wolverine in Berserk mode. Now, unfortunately, the questline to get these bad boys is a little lengthy and a bit annoying, but in the end, it is 100% worth it, mainly because the amount of damage they deal in a short amount of time. And the best thing about it is, we're only level 156, so without further ado, let's get into the build guide. Okay, before we get into the build guide, first things first, if you don't know where to find an item, the weapons, the armor, the talismans, the crystal tiers, and everything that goes with this build, just Google it or go to the Elden Ring wiki. That's the website that I would recommend, okay? That would just be a lot faster. They would be able to tell you a lot quicker and more efficiently than I can, alright? So, with that being said, here's the build. Claws of Night, plus 10. As you can see on the attack power, how do I, is there a way to go there? No. Okay. Well, in the attack power section, you could see it has physical and it has magical damage. All right. But it only, in the attribute scaling, it only scales through dex. Okay. And for me, that's great. You know, the simpler a build is, the better for me. Okay. So that means dex will scale both the physical and the magic attack power of this item. All right. Super simple. That's why we are able to only be level 156, deleting down the Elden Ring DLC bosses because of the simple scaling of this weapon. Okay. And of course, it has a nice little blood buildup, which we don't really use very much. That is not the main damage dealer of this weapon, but having a nice status effect dealer like blood, which is the #1 way to deal damage right now, is nice. And it's a nice way to also get a little bit of extra attack power with our items. Okay? So Claws of Night, its Ash of War is Scattershot Throw. Alright? Let me go and just show what that does real quick, because why not? Let's go ahead and go to, what's his face? Fucking Radahn's arena, which is my arena now. You know what I'm saying? After you beat him. So the Ash of War is this. Hacha! Hacha! It doesn't do that much damage. It does apply the bleed buildup though. But I like to use it at times when, you know, you're not close to the enemy or they're doing some kind of attack where you can't really get near them, like Romina. She has a bunch of attacks that do that. You just do this. Boom. And boom. Alright? But not only does the Scattershot Throw, the Ash of War, do a little bit of damage and apply bleed, it also is nice to keep the poise damage or the stance damage on bosses, because, you know, when you hit a boss like this, like Bao, they take a bit of stance damage, but when you back up and don't hit them for a while, that stance damage goes down. Now this isn't really a stance damage build, but that is something to take note of, you know what I'm saying, as that we can always keep our poise damage or stance damage on them with this Ash of War, okay? And of course, our main attack is your R1, is your light attack. You're just gonna be doing this. You're just gonna be doing this. Ba-ba-bow, 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 ba-bow. Okay? You're gonna dual wield them, okay? Because they are a pair of claws. You're gonna dual wield them like this, and you're gonna R1. Oh-bow, oh-bow, oh-bow. That's it, alright? So boom, that's the weapon. That's the weapon we choose. And holy shit, as you saw in the intro, it does a lot of fucking damage. All right. So boom, and of course our offhand weapons. We're gonna use the short sword here. You can use whatever you want here, as long as it can have the Seppuku Ash of War. We want the Seppuku Ash of War to boost our attack power and to make sure blood loss occurs, because we get buffs off of White Mask and of Lord of Blood's Exaltation. All right, and of course the seal you use doesn't matter. I saw a little comment earlier on one of the videos. If you're not casting any incantations that actually deal damage, the seal you use does not matter. So don't waste your smithing stones, your somber smithing stones, on a fucking dragon communion seal or any other seal, because it does not matter. I'm only using seals in most of my builds to cast buffs like Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength, and those do not scale off of your seal. All right, I just want to make that clear. Unless you're using I think there's like a talisman that increases the duration of buffs, but that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? So I use the finger seal because you can buy it off of the two old bitches back at the home base. You know what I mean? Back at the round table. So yeah, I just want to make that clear. And for those that didn't know, now you know. Okay, so boom, those are our offhand weapons. For our armor, you've seen this before. This is the common. The helmet can be anything, but the 3 pieces are Rakshasa. It's just a really solid set. Okay, the white mask, of course, because we get an attack power boost whenever we proc blood loss, and we're doing it at the beginning of the fight, and you're landing so many attacks, even though the blood loss buildup is only 45, you're probably going to proc bleed out maybe once, maybe twice in the fight, reactivating the buff of the white mask and the Lord of Blood's exaltation. And of course, the Rakshasa set, it's just too damn good. Extra damage, you take a little bit more damage, but that's it. That's about it, okay? And also, it keeps us at that poise level of being above 51, which is great. So little light feathery attacks won't mini stun us, allowing us to even attack more with our light attacks with Claws of Night. So yeah, white mask plus Rakshasa. You're probably going to see a lot of builds using these armor pieces because they're so damn good together. Okay. Talismans. Magic Scorpion Charm. Yes, this does boost the magic attack damage of the Claws of Night. It does. I tested it. Okay. So boom, get more damage out of this. And of course, because we're attacking so many times with our R1, with our light attack, we want to use the Rotten Winged Sword Insignia and the Millicent Prosthesis, which also saves us a little bit of dexterity, by the way. A little bit of 5 levels of dex you could put somewhere else. And these, of course, boost our successive attack damage, and we are always spamming light attack, getting the max damage boost of both of these, pretty much at all times, okay? And of course, the Lord of Blood's exaltation. Blood loss occurs before the fight with seppuku, and during the fight, at least once or twice, like I said, with this little blood loss buildup. Just an extra 20% attack damage. Why not? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the items. That's the armor set. That's the talismans. Let's go to our physic. In our physic, we're running the Magic Shroud and Crack tier. Again, this also boosts the magic attack damage of the Claws of Night. So we're getting a nice little double dip there with the Magic Crack tier and the Magic Scorpion Charm. Kind of nice. I'm already foreseeing myself making a lot of builds combining these elemental tiers and elemental talismans. I got a couple of them in the tuck, so get ready for those. Okay, and the second tier we are running is the Thorny Crack tier. These tiers are pretty, mandatory for the build if you're just focusing on damage. I wouldn't really replace any of these tiers with anything else, but of course, if you want to be more defensive, go ahead and take out one of these and put in an Opaline Hard tier or a Bubble tier or whatever you want to use. But these two are definitely the best damage choices. Okay. Next, we will show the spells. Where the fuck is the grace? Where's the grace at? Oh, look at that. Where's the grace at? Over here. Okay. So the spells we're using, we are using Golden Vow. I'm just gonna fucking use the spells right here. So we're using Golden Vow. Damage buff, damage negation buff, easy. Flame Grant Me Strength, damage buff, okay. And then obviously Seppuku on the Ash of War on the secondary armament for the main hand to activate that blood loss buff, and now we can go crazy. Acha, 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 acha. All right. I think that's it for the items. Oh yeah, the Great Rune. So the Great Rune that I think I'm gonna use no matter what build I'm doing is the motherfuck. Where is it? Radahn's Great Rune. So I like using this rune because it's not. I'm not really depending on it. All right. If you have a Great Rune slot, go and slap it on. It gives us extra HP, FP, and stamina, but hey, we can live without it, okay? I don't like builds that depend on great runes. For example, the Godric's Great Rune, which is definitely the best Great Rune, because it gives you goddamn 30 levels worth of stats, you know what I'm saying? But some builds depend on it, and I don't like that, because there's only so many rune arcs in one playthrough. There's like, what, 15 to 20 that you can get? And I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely dying more than 20 times in a playthrough. Okay? I may make these OP builds, but motherfuckers be dying. Alright? So, I don't want to depend on the Great Rune. I've done this mistake in the past. I want to make sure you guys don't do the same. Another Great Rune that is nice, by the way, is Millennia's Great Rune. Attacks recover HP after damage is taken. And if you're like me, you're always taking damage. So this is nice. This is also a nice defensive option, but also kind of dependable, okay? I would actually combine this with the Blood-Sucking Crack tier, which is another build that I'm working on, by the way, which pretty much negates that negative effect, and you get the damage boost without noticing the downside, okay? But most builds, I'm probably running the Radahn's Great Rune because it is nice to have, but it is not dependable. You know what I mean? All right, so that is the motherfucking items, the physic, the spells, and the Great Rune. Let's go to our stats, shall we? Let's go to our stats. We are level 156. Yes, I got a complaint in a couple videos ago that, hey, you're too high level. Of course you're killing bosses so fast. So, you know, I took that personally, like Michael Jordan, and said, fuck it. All the builds I'm gonna make most likely will be around level 150. They'll definitely be less than level 200. That is the new, I believe that is the new breakpoint when it comes to the Elden Ring DLC. Okay, so yeah, we're pretty low level, 156, killing bosses in less than a minute. Crazy. Elden Ring. Okay, one of the best games of all time. I don't know about you guys. But here are our stats. 60 vigor, that is the highest soft cap of vigor. That is nice to have. You will most likely not be one shot by any boss ability in the game, unless you have a lot of, you know, damage increasing armor pieces and talismans. But most likely with 60 vigor, you'll be okay, at least for one hit. All right. 15 mind. I like 15 mind. It is the first soft cap of mind. It is a nice little comfy spot for me. It puts you at like around 100 mana. You can cast all your pre-buffs. You don't have to worry about you know, your mana during the fight. You know, scatter shot there doesn't cost too much mana. You'll be casting that a few times during the fight. And with 15 mind, you don't have to worry about drinking another mana pot most likely during the fight. Okay, so boom, 15 mind. Endurance at 30. A nice little medium soft cap for endurance there for your stamina. You want this much endurance to be able to roll the dodge, to be able to attack as much without taking too many breaks. Okay, 30 endurance is a nice sweet spot for this build. All right, and of course we don't need any dexterity. We don't need any strength, so we leave that at 10. For the dexterity, we want it at the highest soft cap, which is 80. You want to remember though, Millicent Prosthesis gives us +5 dex. So when you're doing your stats, leave your dex at 75 because you get that extra 5 from the Millicents. And of course, with this much dex, we are scaling our physical and our magical attack damage by a lot. All right. So boom. Intelligence, leave it at 10. We don't need it. Faith 25, of course, to cast our Golden Vow and to cast our Flame Grant Me Strength. Putting Faith at 25 is a nice thing for most builds, especially the builds that I use, because I pretty much use Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength 80% of the time because I like using attack builds. All right, I like to stay away from those spellcasting builds. I know I made one, but personally, for me, that's not my playstyle. I'm not really a spellcaster. Okay, I like getting in there, getting gritty, getting dirty, all up in the face of the boss, and, you know, showing them who's boss. You know what I mean? So boom, Faith at 25, cast our incantations, leave Arcane at 10. We don't need it. All right, and that's it. That's the build. Okay. Hey, if you guys enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Hit the bell for the algorithms. Share the video if you can to your friends who are also having trouble in the Elden Ring DLC. Okay, I got plenty of builds up. Okay, I got a fire anvil build coming up. You know, crazy charged heavy attacks, crazy stance damage. I got a goddamn dual curved sword build coming up deletes bosses even faster than this build. Kind of crazy. All right. I got a lot of builds coming up, man. I got a little, you know, a little notepad of all the things that I have planned for this channel. And then once I do all the build guides, I wanna try to pick one of those builds and do like a new game plus 7 run, kill all the main bosses in the main game and the DLC, and just delete them as well. All right. Then after that, I want to do a level 1 run. Okay, I don't know what weapon I'm going to use, but you know that's for the near future. I want to kill all the bosses in a level 1 run fairly easily, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I plan to do as of right now. That's what I think I'm capable of doing. Damageless or no hit runs, I don't know. That's not for me. I'm not built that different. You know, I'm gonna leave that to the pros. But I can do a little bit in Elden Ring. You know, I can do a little bit. So hey, if you guys like the content, go ahead, give me a subscription. Follow the channel, whatever you like. And of course, all the live gameplay can be found on my Twitch, and I also plan to multi-stream on this YouTube as well. I'm trying to figure out how to do it because it's kind of annoying. I don't know if you guys have tried to or have tried to multi-stream, but it's kind of weird. I don't know how to do it, but I'll figure it out. Anyway, thanks for watching, y'all. I appreciate it, and I'll see y'all on the next Elden Ring video. Yeah, peace out.